Well, I'll be damned. He actually did it. He actually finally won. Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Chuck from NASCAR on MDK. First of all, before we get into everything, I want to apologize for the sound as well as the basically just everything around me, like, you know, the lighting and the sound. I have issues with my light, issues with my audio, so I'm using my phone, so you're gonna have to deal with this. What a race that was, and what a last 50 lap battle that was between Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Now, this race took maybe, I believe, around 6 hours to complete. We started off in the daytime around 3 p.m. It actually was moved up earlier due to the threat of rain. Austin Dillon won the pole. However, 3 laps into it, Jimmie Johnson, who qualified 4th for this race, took the lead. And really he didn't have a winning car, but he had a good top 5 car. He took the lead around lap 3 and was able to hold on to the lead until lap 11 when rain took place. Rain came in through the area, and when I say rain, like on the radar, it looked like hell. It was just a bunch of red with thunderstorms. It was very bad. The wind was absolutely mental. You know, tents were flying. You know, it was just, I didn't think we would get this race in. I thought, you know, we just gonna have to wait till tomorrow. But after around 2.5 hours or so, we were able to get the race in. And when we got back on the caution, all except 4 drivers, including the race leader, Jimmie Johnson, came onto pit road and wanted to get tires early on, which really didn't make sense because, again, it was just 11 laps into it and they were going to have to pit anyways near the end of the stage, so it didn't make sense to pit that early, but that's the strategy they were going for. Kyle Busch had a very eventful day, and not in a good way. Lap 26, 18 car of Kyle Busch, last year's winner, hit a bump, went into entering 3 and 4, washed him with the racetrack, and made pretty good contact with the outside wall. And then 2 laps later, Chase Elliott, or not 2 laps later, but then when Chase Elliott came onto pit road, they were doing some adjustments to the left front of the car. Steve Letarte reported it was like a Packer adjustment to the car because Chase at the start of it was really not good. But then after this Packer, Chase came to life in stage 2. Not as much as stage 3, but really came to life in stage 2. In fact, all of Hendrick Motorsports came to life. Really, we usually see maybe 1 to 2 cars perform. Kansas was really the first time we saw Hendrick really shine, but Chicagoland, they really showed their stuff. Sorry if you can see the TV right there. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still looking at the race footage. With 30 laps to go, pit stops then took place. And again, this is not surprising, but again, it was weird though. All the drivers that came on pit road after that rain delay ended up coming on pit road again, except a few drivers. Forgot who they were exactly. Kevin Harvick was leading at this time, and with 8 laps to go, Harvick had to come onto pit road due to a right rear tire going down. Then a couple laps later, his teammate Clint Bowyer brings up the first real second caution of the day, when he blew a right rear tire, spun across the grass to bring out the second caution. And then right after that, Kyle Busch all of a sudden has to come up pit road due to a right front issue, and it really was just like everything happened like that. This race, whenever it had moments at the, like, 4 different moments at once. It was just calamity really at this race, in a really good way. And with all that going on, Denny Hamlin won stage 1 with Michael McDowell in 2nd, Brad Keselowski 3rd, and Jimmie Johnson in 4th. Then when the restart took place, it was a 3-way battle between Kevin Harvick, William Byron, and Jimmie Johnson. And when I say good battle, it was a really good battle. The fact that they were close to each other, but they couldn't pass each other. Like Johnson, who was 2nd, was right up to the back bumper of Harvick, but he just could not pass him. And then all of a sudden, later on to the race, Johnson's car started to fall. William Byron started to gain momentum, gain speed, passed by his teammate Johnson for 2nd place, then had issues with Harvick for a little bit, then got a good run off of turn number 4, was able to clear Kevin Harvick for the lead. William Byron. Kevin Harvick's teammate Clint Bowyer had more problems while the 3-way battle for the lead was going on. You saw there was a camera shot at Clint Bowyer with smoke coming out the right rear of his car. He ended up then going to the garage, and I believe he was able to come back, but multiple laps down. Bowyer just not having an eventful day. Actually, having an eventful, really, season. I mean, He's just been off of this package, has not fitted to his liking, it seems. Quinn Houff, don't know why he's in that car in the beginning, brings out the third caution of the day. I don't really sure why. They didn't really show a video on why he brought the caution, but it just said yellow flag and it pointed to Quinn Houff, so I only assumed that he was the reason for the caution. Restart took place with William Byron as the race leader, but he just had a god-awful restart. Went from 1st to 12th, and that was really his kryptonite. He was just not good on restarts. Anytime he was near the front, he just went to the back. And it took him a long time for him to get back to where he was before that restart. So Byron had a really good car, but really restarts was his kryptonite. Then the veterans, the 43-year-olds, Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick were battling for the lead. Again, they weren't passing for the lead, they were just there. They were just close to each other. Harvick was leading and Johnson was in second. Again, they were just there, nothing much. And that was really all that happened. We saw a lot of very good 3-wide, 4-wide racing near the back of the pack, but it was mostly just Harvick and Johnson just right behind each other. Later on though, as we got closer into the end of stage 2, Johnson started to fall back. Larson started to gain, as well as Alex Bowman, who really didn't talk much about in stage 1. Stage 2 and stage 3, he really came to life. Larson was able to get by Jimmy Johnson as well as Alex Bowman. Johnson fell back to the 5th spot, I believe. He also chased Elliott. Elliott also had a really good car. Elliott passed Johnson as well. Like I said, not even Hendrick as a whole. Chevy really showed their stuff this race today, and I mean, I don't want to say much, but this could be like a move to like a new step in the right direction. Harvick won stage 2, Elliott 2nd, Larson 3rd, Bowman 4th, and Johnson the top 5. The first few laps of stage 3 was just like I said, whenever there was a moment, there was like 3 to 4 moments right next to each other. At the start of the race, I believe 1 or 2 laps into the start of stage 3, Kyle Busch takes it 4 wide into turn 3, actually on the outside of Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and William Byron. They come off at turn number 4. Johnson makes contact with his teammate Byron. Smoke then came out, obviously, from the 48 car of Johnson. Then down the back straightaway, Joe Logano goes to the inside of Busch. Busch then makes a block. Logano and Busch make contact. Right after that, Busch had to come onto pit road because of a tire problem. I believe it was a left rear tire problem. And then on that same lap, Kevin Harvick, who was running second at the time, went up, smacked the outside wall, and I believe that is what caused the caution. Surprisingly, Harvick just smacked the wall, and all of a sudden the yellow flag came out. So again, only assuming that was the reason. I mean, it was just mental. Every restart was absolutely mental with the way they were racing. It looked like it was pack racing, really. And while that was all going on, Kyle Larson took the lead from Harvick. That's why Harvick was in second. However, then a few laps later after that, Alex Bowman then took the lead from Kyle Larson. And it was really between them two was when we saw that battle for the lead take place and eventually for the win. Kyle Busch at that restart, again, had just a very up and down day. Nearly lost it off of turn number 4, made contact with his teammate Eric Jones and nearly spun out. Busch just had, I mean, for Busch standards, he had a really awful day. Like I feel like if he had the opportunity to get up front, he could have been competitive, but he was just not there. Really, Toyota as a whole, they just weren't there. Even Denny Hamlin, even though he won the first stage, he wasn't there at the end of the second stage. Martin Truex Jr. showed some moments, was in the top 5 for a good portion of stage 2, but other than that, really, Toyota was just non-existent after that. Then with around, Larson was unable to get by Johnson. Johnson was also in third. Between Bowman, Larson, and Johnson, I believe that was like the top 3. Bowman was able to get out in front, and by the time Larson got by Johnson, it was, I believe, like maybe 3 to 4 second lead. Pit stops didn't take place. Nothing really dramatic happened. However, Bowman's lead was then cut down to around 1 to 2 seconds when everything was cycled through. However, Bowman wasn't able to build that lead back up on Larson, and Logano was also getting into the mix. Logano was in third, he was closing in on Larson. So it looked like at this point, Bowman has got this in the bag. Larson's getting challenged by Logano, and Bowman, he had a great lead. He set sail. Well, not exactly. After that, Bowman built his lead. Bowman started to have issues because of lap traffic. It was like deja vu. It was like 2018 Chicagoland all over again. Kyle Busch got out to a big lead. However, Larson was able to close him down due to lap traffic. Same thing this year. Bowman got out to a big lead. However, Larson was able to close him down due to lap traffic. And when all of that took place, after all that, Larson was able to cut that lead down to around 1 to 2 seconds and was just running him down. Bowman was then trying different lines, started to run the top line, and he was just getting very loose. Larson was able to close in even more, and with around 10 to 9 laps to go, Larson was able to get by Alex Bowman. However, he was not in the clear. 3 to 4 laps later, with around 5 laps to go, Bowman, who at this point we all thought he was done for. He was, as soon as Larson passed him, Bowman was all over the place. He was just, didn't look like he had the speed to catch up with Larson. But somehow he managed to get back to the back bumper of Larson, was able to get side by side with Larson, and was able to clear him, I believe, ending in turn 1 with 5 laps to go. And I was in absolute shock by this. I didn't expect Bowman to have that last burst of speed to be able to get by Larson, but he did, and he was able to build a 1 to 2 second lead and was able to capture his first Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series victory in his 134th start. Bowman also becomes the first driver to earn his first career Cup Series victory at Chicagoland Speedway. Let's take a look at the race results right now. Bowman wins, Kyle Larson second, Joey Logano third, Jimmy Johnson, great run for him, in 4th place. That's in fact, I believe ties his career best, which was back at Bristol in 2018, I believe so. Brian Keselowski in 5th, Ryan Blaney 6th, Eric Jones 7th, William Byron 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 9th, and Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. Chase Elliott 11th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 12th, Kurt Busch 13th, Kevin Harvick 14th, Denny Hamlin 15th, Eric Almirola 16th, Ryan Newman 17th, Chris Buescher 18th, Daniel Harvick 19th, and Michael McDowell rounds out the top 20. Also, another notable here, Kyle Busch 22nd, Daniel Suarez 24th, and yeah, it was a weird race. And also Clint Boyer 37th. So overall thoughts and conclusions, what a day, not only just for Alex Bowman, not only for Hendrick Motorsports, but for Chevrolet. They really, if I'm not mistaken, let me take a look here. I believe they had 6 of the top 10 were all Chevys. Okay, 5 of the top 10 were Chevys. Great run for those drivers, especially the Hendrick boys. Especially Jimmy and Bowman, and even Chase, who I didn't expect him to even run that well. Every driver had their moment of being the best Hendrick driver, running up front, leading laps. I believe all drivers. I don't know if Chase led a lap, but I know Jimmy, Bowman, and Byron, they all led laps. I'm not sure if Chase did though, but great day for Chevrolet. Weird day, like I said, for Kyle Busch. He was just not there. He had a very up and down day. Hit the wall, blew a right front tire, made contact with Eric Jones' teammate. Then actually, I believe with around 3 to 4 laps to go, when Bowman was already gone, Busch had issues. There's smoke coming out of his race car. He had to come on the pit road and make a unscheduled pit stop. That's why he finished 22nd. But even if that didn't happen, he just was in a very off day for Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick finishing 14th again. I expected him to run a lot closer to the front. He had a very strong car. It seemed like one stage 2 had a very strong car, it seemed like, but he just really fell after that last round of pit stops. So yeah, I mean, again, it's one race, don't want to speculate, but we could be seeing a changing of the tide. We could be seeing maybe Chevy start, Hendrick and maybe Chip Ganassi starting to gain some momentum. Penske, they had good runs, but they weren't consistent. They weren't the top dog. And Joe Gibbs was gone. Toyota was not good. Eric Jones, I believe, was the highest running Toyota in 7th place. I mean, he was just, he finished 7th, but really, he had a very uneventful day, just nothing big. He just finished 7th. Toyota as a whole was just not there. And yeah, very, very weird, but what a race. Was this better than, I say this was better than last year. I don't know, this was very close. I give this like just a tick better than last year. I don't know, I get that maybe 9.2. I don't know what the rating was for last year, what I said, but just a bit good. And now we're going to Daytona next week, and if it's any indication of what we saw at Talladega, oh boy, we're in for a treat on Saturday night. So yeah, that is it for my Chicagoland race review. What do you guys think about the race? Tell me in the comment section down below. But until next time, I'm Jake Cross from NASCAR on MDK, and I'll see you guys in the next video.